things that we look at. We look at the market, we look at the facility, and thirdly, we look at the people who we're going to do business with. And there's certainly no question about the market. The facility, as you will learn later, will be what I categorize as really the best of the best. The group has really done their homework. They have visited a number of the other national event facilities. They have extracted, I think, all of the positive things that they could see and wove it into their own design, which will be unique, and it will be, I think, the best of the best. Dale Coyne Payton Racing, and his group that we've spent considerable time with, we're very excited about being partners with this group. The decision was real easy because all of the three elements really fell into place.
Racing's been part of a lot of people's life in the Chicago area, especially mine, for the last 24 years for me. I think this is a great thing that's happening. I'm very happy to have this press conference because there's been a lot of newspaper articles written and a lot of talk in this area about racetrack being built, from Kankakee to Manteno to Page County to now Plano. It's great that these people have the vision to build a racetrack, but we're doing a track now that's 80% completed on the site work. We have a date, we're there, we're permitted, and we're doing it. The city of Joliet has been fantastic through this whole process. Mayor Schultz, all the councilmen have been just wonderful to deal with. We've got an approval process done. The history of the racetrack was Rex Steffes and his brothers had a vision to build a racetrack. Jim Bingham, who runs a motorsports shop in Joliet and several other towns in the state, those guys had the vision to build a racetrack, and it was because of them that we're all here today. There's other partners in the group, Steve Spees and Jerry Papish. They've got the tough job now of getting it built. They're engineering it and working on the construction. George Barr for everything that he's done to get through the process with the city of Joliet. And I'm really the last guy into the group, but I'm happy to be in the group and need to look at the business side of making a racetrack work. What we want to do here in Chicago and Joliet is to make something that's good for the fans. We want this track to be something that fans can enjoy, they be proud of. We want it to be a track that the participants feel that it's the best track in the country they run in. It's an expensive venture. It's a $20 million adventure, but it is going to be the best drag racing facility in the country. It's going to be a 4-story suite building, completely surrounded with grandstands and a complete horseshoe. Drag strips have traditionally been built. They've been modified as the years going on. You take a drag strip and then you add some more bleachers and then you add a suite building and you grow. This is being built from ground one, and we're really happy about it. We think it's a great design. It's going to be loud. The people are going to like it. The participants are going to really like it. When the drivers sit on that line and look back at everything that's around them, it's going to be a pretty menacing feeling. So it really is the first true stadium of drag racing. The facility lends itself to a lot of other things. This is a great arena to do concerts in or special events. I just think that it's going to be, it's unique. The suite buildings were done 10, 12 years ago, and everybody's kind of going on that theme, but now this takes it a step farther. We're happy the track we've got a mile in length. They go fast, but they don't stop very good. So you need all that shutdown area. It's going to be a very safe facility. We've seen a lot of racetracks around the country. We've seen people get hurt at racetracks, and we don't want that to happen at this one. So we're really concerned about the safety. We've worked with the NHRA people and some engineers to make sure that this track is a safe track for the racers and the fans. We've got a lot of work to do in a short period of time. We're going to open this thing up in May, but like I say, the site work is done. We broke ground probably a month ago. We've got the suite building is about to start construction if it ever stops raining, and that's the drag race part of it. Now the racetrack is also going to be a multi-purpose facility. There's going to be we are going to put some curves in it here and there, but that's other things. There's an oval involved with it, which is a unique design. It's a dual-purpose oval. The outer oval is a half-mile clay oval, and the inner oval is a 3/8 mile paved oval. It's going to be great because the paved part is going to be for weekly racers that want to come and race stock cars or trucks or midgets or that type of thing. The outer clay oval will be for big events during the year: World of Outlaws, off-road trucks, motorcycles, those monster trucks, which Wets Exhibition, that's not really racing, but it's great. Again, it's a cross-section of all types of motorsports, and that's what we want the facility to be. There's also, hiding in all those dark lines, we hit them pretty good so Dallas didn't see them. There's a road course in there too, but that'll be for testing and special events. We're incorporating a go-kart design into it now, but you can see, you know, it's 250 acres. We have room to expand in a couple areas. It's really going to be a wonderful site. The seating, this represents 40,000 seats, what you see on the Dragstrip right there. Initially, we're going to do 30,000 seats with the ability to grow into 40,000 in 3 years. We think the Chicago market can handle it. Racetracks, you have Indianapolis Raceway Park as a Dragstrip, St. Louis. They get a lot of their people from the Chicago area. So the Chicago market is ripe for a professional motorsports complex like this. And we're really pleased to be the first to really get it done and get it out there. Dallas and all his people have been great to work with to get a national date. Again, the city of Joliet, this is going to be a great thing for the city of Joliet. The riverboats have been good for the city. It's brought a lot of destination people in, new hotels, a lot of new construction. This will complement that. There will be a series of concerts we're going to run at the Motorsports Park as well. It's going to be a very intense use of a piece of property. When you build a big mega track that they talk about, you use it 3 times a year. This one's going to get used 7 days a week, and we're happy to have the city behind us. We're happy to bring this to the fans and the people of Chicago, and we're looking forward to having everybody there next year.
With that, we have 6 of our competitors here today to share with you their experience in the NHRA Winston Drag Racing Series. And a couple of them you actually saw there racing. A young lady we have with us today is Shelly Anderson. She is the driver of the Western Auto Parts America Top Fuel Dragster. And just to tell you a little bit about Shelly, we're talking about speeds a moment ago. This lady has gone 317.46 miles per hour and at 4.617 seconds. In her career, she has 4 victories in Top Fuel against the guys, whoever. There's no separation of the sexes. Everybody races each other heads up in Top Fuel. Before I introduce her, there is a gentleman here today that we're happy to have on board because they came in involved with us at Heartland Park, Topeka, and also on the car, and that is Paul Baffico, who is the president of Sears Automotive, which Western Auto Parts America is a part of. So Paul, thank you so much for coming today. It's great to come to your city, and we're looking forward to coming to Joliet and Chicago and bring your race cars here in the near future. Would you welcome Paul Baffico, please? And would you welcome the driver, the Parts America Top Fuel Dragster, Shelly Anderson. Shelly, it's great to come to Chicago and have a track that Dale's talking about here and be able to race in front of these people who come to Indy and the other places that we've had them in the past.
Well, actually, it's great on a lot of levels. It's great for the racer. We like new tracks. New tracks attract new spectators, which makes our sponsors, Paul Baffico and Sears, really happy. It's nice to have an area like this. I know NHRA's been looking at the Chicago area forever. Chicago's our favorite city, my favorite city, water towers, shopping and everything, so we'll come and spend a lot of money there. But as far as this track and what it means for drag racing is set a new standard, hopefully, for other racetracks. NASCAR and IndyCar are getting new facilities. We need drag racing to have new state-of-the-art facilities, and this will just set the level higher and higher, and hopefully we'll get more tracks like this, and maybe encourage the other tracks to improve the ones they have now and come into a new marketplace. Sears in our backyard with Parts America, Craftsman. They sponsor 4 national events right now. They're going to sponsor this one. It's going to be a great team, I hope.
Thank you, Shelly.
Thank you.
As I said, all of our drivers will be available for you to do one-on-ones or whatever as we have dinner and or lunch, and then after the luncheon today, they will be available. You know, probably one of the most renowned funny cars in the country. We've heard of the Blue Max, but everyone, I guess, has heard of the Chi-Town Hustler. And there is a name here that's not associated with Chi-Town Hustler, but it's associated with drag racing in this part of the country, and that is the name Schumacher. Dad paved the way, but the son is on the scene now and doing very well. In his first outing last year at Indy, he went to the finals in Top Fuel. 2 times this year he's been to the finals. He's looking for that first career win, but you know it's going to come. Would you welcome the driver of the Peak Brothers Top Fuel Dragster, Tony Schumacher. Tony, we're going to be racing right in your backyard.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this for a long, long time. I think there's been several opportunities that have come up in the last probably 2 years for a track to be built. I know there was some talk about Genoa, and my father's been involved in some of it. When I heard that it was actually happening, I couldn't believe it. It's just, I have so many friends in this area that have never had the opportunity to either see me race. If you haven't been to a drag race, there's no physical way to explain what it is like. You can watch it on TV, you know, it seems, you say, oh, they look awful fast, but there's nothing like being there around the nitromethane and the pro stocks and all the people. I don't think people understand that they get to actually come by the drivers. You go to some of the other races like NASCAR and IndyCar, you don't really get the opportunity to get down by the pits. And I think for all the people and all my friends and family and everyone that's here, it's just a great opportunity to be right here. I'm real thankful to Dale Coyne for putting this together in NHRA. I think it's going to be a great opportunity. I think the last couple of years we really missed a big opportunity in Chicago. This is a huge, not only race town, because we don't have a racetrack here at the time, but just a huge population. You look at LA and you look at Pomona and some of the other tracks with big populations and how many people show up. I think this is going to be unbelievable. Shelly said something about the new level of racetracks. This is the most beautiful track I think I've ever seen. And we've talked about it over the last year, and you know, some of the problems we've had at the tracks and some of the situations that have come up. This looks like a good, safe racetrack. Some of the other tracks were built many, many years ago, and you know, you upkeep them and you try to do the best you can, but you got to remember the cars are going quite a bit faster than they were 10 years ago and even 5 years ago. It's real good to see that we're going to be on a nice, good, safe track. And I hope everyone just has a really good time. I hope to see it happen on schedule so that we could have a good race next year. And I mean, I wish we could do it tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. We get to go to Indy next week. I hope all you guys get a chance to come out and see what these things are really like. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. When you talk about pro stock motorcycle in the NHRA Winston Drag Racing Series, there's probably only a couple of names that are synonymous with that division. Dave Schultz, and probably Dave Schultz again. This guy has been a cornerstone of the category since its inception. He has 42 career victories in the division. He was in a final last weekend at Brainerd. Unfortunately, he didn't get to make the run. He had a mechanical problem. But one of the real talents in the pro stock motorcycle field. Would you welcome the rider of the Sunoco Suzuki, Dave Schultz. Dave, I have to say, repeat something that you said. We were talking about the press conference in Chicago, and for the pro stock motorcycle riders, this is definitely a market that you want.
Absolutely, Denny, and I want to thank everyone who's been involved in putting a facility like this together. I have to say it again, you know, from the renditions and the explanation of what's about to happen here, this is going to be a first-class facility. And it's something that, as a competitor, you know, someone who looks out for our sponsors, who looks out for our safety, who looks out for the growth of our sport, this is where it's at. And so to see a facility like this in an area that is as strong, marketing-based wise as the Chicago area is, I'm very excited. The longer I've sat here and the more I've heard, the more excited I've got. I was excited when I first walked in and just saw the logo. I'm old enough to really appreciate the Rt.66 part of that, and when I saw that, it sort of titillated me a little bit, and then the more I've heard about the facility, I've been more and more excited. You know, these race vehicles, whether it's a motorcycle or a top fueler, they all run on money. It doesn't matter whether it's a community, a racetrack, a sponsor, a promoter, all the way down to the race team, or you can take it the other way. You can go from the racer all the way up to the community. Money's what drives these things, and I think in this particular venue, everybody's going to be a winner. Thank you.
A driver that actually we've had drivers that started in funny cars, started in top fuel, went to the other category and came back. This driver, very successful in funny car, moved over to the top fuel field a few years ago. Actually went from top fuel to funny car and back to top fuel. He drives a close call top fuel dragster. He's from Columbus. He's an engineer, and a lot of people say maybe Jim over-engineers his car, but he is one of the true talents in our sport, a great spokesman for our sport. Would you welcome the driver of the close call top fuel dragster, Jim Head. Jim, last week you had a great qualifying pass and a run in the first round, and I remember at the top end of the track I heard Jim say, it'll go quicker, it'll go faster.
But it didn't. It smoked the tires. You know, nitromethane racing is probably nitromethane racing in a funny car or a top fuel. Dragster is one of the few sports where if you make an extra 20 horsepower, it's the kiss of death. And unfortunately for our team, second round in the last race up in Brainerd, Minnesota, we made a little extra horsepower, smoked the tires, and you go to the back of the pack. Everybody that's talked about our sport prior to me has taken a lot of my good tidbits away, but I do want to add a few things about the uniqueness of NHRA drag racing. We really have a couple races going on at each and every race. Two cars side by side, 310 miles an hour. If you're fortunate enough to win that particular race, then you've got 90 minutes to prepare that car for the very next event. So you've actually got to win that next race to be able to compete second round. I get people calling me from all over the country, can you get me a pit pass? I say, you don't understand. NHRA drag racing, everybody has pit access. Each and every spectator that comes to our sport, comes to an event, has the opportunity to come by and watch us completely disassemble these race cars. Literally every bearing, every ring, every valve, every spring, whatever, gets disassembled, inspected, and reassembled within 90 minutes between rounds. And it's a lot of work. It's a race within a race. It's a 21-second pit stop in a NASCAR event. We take 90 is the minimum. Sometimes we get a little bit more, but it's very exciting. I hope everybody that hasn't come to a race, Tony mentioned you just can't describe these things on television. I watched the video. It's a nice video. It's about 2% of what you're going to see when you get there. It's a big deal. I hope to see somebody in Indianapolis, and really looking forward to being in one of the truly great cities in the United States, Chicago, at the end of May in 1988. Thank you.
Most of you have heard the name Don the Snake Perdone. Well, what's it like to drive for a legend? This guy has done pretty well at it in his rookie season. 2 wins. Driver of the Copenhagen Chevrolet, would you welcome Ron Capps. One of the benefits driving for a guy like Don the Snake Perdome is listening to some of the old stories. As a kid, I grew up reading the magazines, building his models, Don the Snake Perdome, Tom, the Mongoose McEwen, and one of his best stories is how he went on tour for the first time with a guy named Tommy Ivo, TV Tommy. He was an actor. He was one of the original Mouseketeers, and how Don kind of, just before he drove, he packed his stuff up, went on tour with Tommy Ivo, who had this 4-engine dragster. He used to smoke all 4 tires. And there's always a gleam in Snake's eye when he tells his story, but how he came to Chicago and he met a guy named Chris Karamessinis. They call him the Greek. Some of you may know him. I believe he lives in this area. And it's one of those stories where, you hear a lot of stories over the years of Don Perdome and some of the match racing he did. But this one I've heard about 8 times this year, and I've been driving for him for 7 months. But I'm excited. That's why I took the pictures here. I'm an opportunity here to witness Winston drag racing growing. Where I came into the sport, we had some of the tracks like Dallas and Topeka already, and I'm very proud to be able to come to Chicago. So appreciate it.
Thank you.
Division director. We have 7 division directors across the country, and the division director for this area is Jay Hollinger.
Thank you. I represent the National Hot Rod Association's North Central Division that encompasses Wisconsin, Illinois, Kentucky, Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, and Western Ontario, Canada. And we certainly welcome aboard Rt.66 Raceway to our family of member tracks that participate in a variety of racing events throughout the North Central Division. There'll be a participant in our Sears Craftsman ET Racing Series program, which is Winston being the very top level of NHRA drag racing. The Sears Craftsman program offers racing for the amateur, the sportsman level, and many of the professional drivers that have spoken here started out at some point in time in their career at bracket racing and ET competition. They'll also no doubt be developing programs that'll be involved in street legal, that'll be taking and making a safe place to conduct racing events for the enthusiasts out there with their street cars. So we certainly would like to welcome Rt.66 to our member family here in the North Central Division.